Hey teachers, are you tired of searching for the perfect writing paper, but then ended up settling for something that doesn't quite fit your students' needs? In this video, I'll show you how to create your own custom writing paper in Canva quickly and easily. First, you'll want to go to Canva and hit Create a Design, search at the top for Worksheet, and you'll click on the first one that says Worksheet Landscape. The first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to hit Elements on the side tab, and you'll find the line. We're going to drag it to the left. A quick tip, when you're making your lines, once you hit the tool to drag it to be longer, if you also hold the Shift key on your keyboard while you're dragging it, it will keep the line perfectly straight. So I'm clicking Shift, dragging it perfectly to the other side. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control or Command C and then Control or Command V to copy that line. And now I can determine how far apart I want my top and bottom line from each other. And I'm going to do that one more time. Command or Control C and V. This is going to be our middle line. And what I'm going to do now is I'm clicking the middle line. I'm going to come up and hit Stroke Style. And we have three different choices. We have some wider dashed lines, smaller dashed lines, and then the smallest option. I always prefer the medium-sized dashed lines, but that's just personal preference. So I have that set for the middle line of our primary ruled lines. And then I'm also going to hit Stroke Color and change it to gray. It makes it a lot easier for students to recognize where they're starting on the bottom line or starting at the top line, and then where that middle line is. Now that we have our writing line, we're going to want to group those three separate lines together to allow for easier adjustments in the future. So I'm going to drag and select, and I'm going to hit Group. So now instead of having three separate objects, we have one object together where I can move it as one. So now that I have one line, I'm going to click it. Since I grouped them, all I have to do is copy and paste it one time. So I'm going to hit Control C, Control V, and now I have two lines. And we'll do the same thing that we did. We're going to drag both of them, copy, paste, and then I want one more. I always like having 5 lines. I'm going to hit one more at the bottom. I'm going to put it right here at the end. Now I do want to eliminate this white space at the bottom so I have more room to work at the top for my drawing space and my checklist. So I'm going to drag and I'm going to pull it all down at once. One awesome feature with Canva is you're able to edit multiple things at the same time without making major adjustments. So I'm going to select all of my lines and you can see they're all highlighted purple. That means they are selected. I can use this toolbar at the top, and if I drag it up, it will make all of the writing lines the same width apart or the same height. And then if I drag it down, it will make each one skinnier and they'll all come down together. So you can kind of play with this to determine where exactly you want your writing lines. So that way you can leave the space that you desire for the picture. So I like my writing lines there. I think that's a good width for first graders, which is what I'll be teaching this school year. Next, we're going to work on our drawing space. So I'm going to come back over to Elements and hit the Square tool. I'll drag it up here at the top. The first thing that we'll want to do is hit the Stroke Style, and we'll add a border to the box. And then the second thing is we want to eliminate that color so students will be able to draw in the space. And what I'll do now is I will line it up on this left edge, and then I'll hit the right bar to pull, drag, and pull across. And now it's on this side, and then I can make it the height that I want as well. And then I'm going to click and hold and move it so that way I make sure that my box is centered with the paper. So I'm going to drag it, and this pink line that goes down the middle, that lets me know that I'm centered. Next, on my writing papers, I like to add a checklist for my students. We call it the 5-star sentence checklist. So I'm going to click on the box, and I'm going to copy and paste it, so I'll have 2 of them. So I copied and paste, and I'm going to match it up. If you're looking at the right side, I'm matching up that right edge, and I'm going to drag the left edge over to the right. So this will be my self-assessment box. So this will be my drawing space, and this right side will be students have a checklist for their 5-star sentences. Once you have your drawing space and your checklist space set up, we're going to come over here to the T-Text tool, and I'm going to hit the bottom one, and I'm going to line it up at the top of my checklist. And if you see the left and right arrow, that lets you drag it left and right so you can match the size of the text box with your space you're working with. And I'm going to call it 5-star sentences. That's what we use, like I said, in first grade, so our students know there's 5 things they need for every sentence to be complete. And I'm going to make that a little smaller so that way it fits perfectly. And I'm going to copy and paste. And so our first star is our students need to use capital letters. So I will put my I can statements so students know that's something that they can do with each sentence. So I can use a capital letter. And with my first checkpoint, I'm going to drag this one over a little bit so I have room to add an actual checkbox here. So students know that they need capital letters. And then you can move things around and format it so it fits your preferences, how you like it to look. If you want to make it a little smaller so it's one line, that works too. Our next one is I can use punctuation. Third, I can sound out my words. And then we have I can write on the line. And our fifth star is I can use finger spaces. So now that we have our 5-star sentence checklist completed, if I want to select all of them, I'm going to click on the first one. I'm going to hit Shift, and then it allows me to click on all of them. And then I can move them all together just so it's centered. And then I am going to click on the 5-star sentence title one more time. And I'm going to hit bold just so it stands out more so students know where they need to be working. Now the last part that I need to complete for the checklist is the actual check boxes. So I'm going to come back to elements and I'm going to hit the shapes tool again and I'm going to hit the square one more time. Another helpful feature while making these checkboxes, when you're adjusting a shape, if you click the corner, it's not staying in that perfect shape that you originally clicked. So I'm going to hit Command Z to go back. Just like we did with the line, if you hit the Shift button on your keyboard when you're dragging the corner, it will keep it in that perfect shape that you clicked on originally. So I'm going to add my stroke to it so it has an edge like a checkbox would, and I'm going to make the color white. And now I can move it over here. I do think that stroke line is a little too dark, so I'm going to hit the stroke style again, and I'm going to change it to 2. So now I have my checkbox, and I can just hit Command C and make 5 copies to put next to each I can statement. So now my students, when they complete their writing assignment, before they're able to turn it in or work on their picture, they need to do their I can 5-star sentence check. So they'll look through each sentence, make sure that they're using capital letters, punctuation, sounding out their words, writing on the line, and using finger spaces. In my classroom, my rule is once you have your 5 stars, then you can work on your picture. The last thing that we have to do is you can add your directions, a title to the assignment, and somewhere for students to write their name. So I'm going to come on down and I'm going to copy and paste my writing line one more time to bring it up to the top for my student's name line. So there is not enough space that we need. So if I hit the corner, I can make it a little narrower so it fits. And then if I hit the left arrow, I can drag it for the name. And then it'll fit perfectly right in the corner. And then if I copy the title of this one, paste it, and then we can just move it up and call that name. It'll match up the edges. Now we have somewhere for students to write their name. And now the last thing that you have the option, you can add a title or directions for your assignment. So I'm going to copy and paste one more time. And then I'm going to call it first grade writing paper. And then we'll drag that bar on the right. And then I'm going to change the size so it's the title of our paper. Once you're completed and you're ready to print your writing paper, you'll want to come up here to hit share, download, and change it to PDF print so your printer can access the file easily and print and make copies. And then you'll click download. And that's it. Now you have created your own personalized writing paper that will fit your needs, your students' needs, and meet the needs of your classroom. If this video helped you, please be sure to like the video and subscribe for more tips in the future. I'm uploading about 1 or 2 videos a week, and if you have any special requests, please leave a comment below on what type of tutorial or app you might need help with. Or you could also skip the work entirely, and you can grab a copy of my editable Canva template on Teacher Pay Teachers. My storefront is James Morrell School. You can also click the link in the description if you would want to purchase the editable template for yourself. They're easy and ready to use right in Canva. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.